Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kadash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles and bishops of Great Stone, to the Akim and Akweth, throughout the four corners of the earth, holding on in sincerity and in truth to the gospel of the Lord HaMashiach Yahushai in these days and times, with diligence of mind. This is Brother Menashe, DC Camp, another short lesson for the hopeful elect. Alright, so I'm just going to go into a brief topic so you could stay steadfast, stay focused, stay excited about your opportunity in the Lord HaMashiach Yahushua. Alright, your opportunity towards salvation. Alright, you have to be motivated to remain in this ministry. Alright, this ministry is a reflection of our heritage. Alright, and your heritage has to be exercised. Alright, you have to abide within the confines of our heritage that the Lord HaMashiach Yahushai has shown and revealed unto us. Alright, so now that the Spirit of the Lord, alright, the Ruach HaKodesh is moving, you know, our people are waking up, right? So-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, are waking up to who they truly are. Now they know exactly what's expected of them. So for you to go from that level of ignorance to being enlightened with the word of life, the words of wisdom, that's a huge step forward, right? Just one step like that can change your life, can change the trajectory of your life. Just one opportunity like that, man, it's a huge difference that it can have in your life, a huge impact. So I'm going to read from the book of Psalms chapter 26. The first three verses are okay. All right, it's perfect. All right, so it says, "Judge me, O Lord, for I have walked in my integrity. I have trusted also in the Lord. Therefore I shall not slide." So you have to say that with confidence. Once you know who you are according to the Holy Scriptures, that you're an Israelite, you should have no doubt. Alright, you should be able to speak with confidence, just like our forefather David spoke in verse 1 here. It says, "Judge me, O Lord, for I have walked in my integrity." Alright, so you need to have integrity in this ministry. Alright, when you come to serve the Lord, make sure you come with a heart of building up your integrity. Alright, I have trusted also in the Lord. Alright, so integrity and trust. Therefore I shall not slide. So that's a conclusion right there, man. When you walk in the Lord, you know, you keep your integrity intact, you know, you do what you say you're gonna do at all times. Alright, you strive to attain that quality that's really, really beneficial to you and those in this ministry. Hey, you have no second thoughts, alright? And it says, "I have trusted also in the Lord, therefore I shall not slide." So you know that your end goal is already guaranteed, since you already put your trust in the Lord HaMashiach Yahushua. You placed your focus on Him, and you already know what you're going to expect at the end, alright? The reward is salvation, alright? So verse 2 says, "Examine me, O Lord, and prove me. Try my reins and my heart." So you're asking the Lord, alright? You begging the Lord, you are requesting of the Lord to examine you, you know, to put you through that test, so that way you can be qualified, all right, for salvation, you know, so you can be destined for salvation, right? So the Lord has to test your spirit, all right? The Lord has to put you in circumstances, all right, situations where your faith can be built up, where your integrity will be tested, all right, to see if you really trust in the words of the Lord HaMashiach Yahushai has spoken, all right, through his servants, the prophet, okay? Then in verse 3 it says, "For thy loving kindness is before mine eyes, and I have walked in thy truth." So that's what it's all about. You should learn to keep the words of the Lord at the forefront of your mind. All right, it's not your bodily eyes, but your spiritual eyes, your mind. All right, just like they talk about, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Yeah, that's from the outside, but from the soul looking outwards, that's what really matters the most. Okay, the way you process the information given to you is what really counts. All right, just like the Lord Hamashiach Yahweh said, it's not really what goes into a man that really pollutes him. It's what comes out of him. All right, that proves that. Okay, so you have to understand your perspective in this ministry is more so very important than the way things appear to you on the outside. Okay, so you just have to take that with a grain of salt. And the Lord also tells you abstain from all appearance of evil. So how are you able to discern what is evil and what is good? By applying the scriptures. And when you apply the scriptures, it's because you have studied the scriptures, you have read the scriptures, you have kept the scriptures within you. So that's the lens through which you're able to examine the world. All right. So we go to the book of Second Corinthians, chapter 13 and 5. All right. So it helps you, man. This scriptures helps you to keep your foundation stable. It helps you to build up a support network with Akim, so that way you're able to grow, all right, in this ministry. 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 12, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. All right, that's why our forefather David was praying to the Lord, for him to be tested, to be proved, to be examined, to see if he's on the right path. Okay, if he needs some extra tune-up. All right, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobate. So Yahweh Shema is part of us, and we're part of him. So if Yahushua is part of us, what is expected of us? We have to constantly examine ourselves to make sure that the image of the Lord Mashiach Yahushua is constantly being beamed and reflected upon our heart, is being impressed upon our hearts. Okay, and that's the way you handle things. That's the way you handle your work in this ministry. That's the way you handle life in general, by using the image of the Lord Mashiach Yahushua to navigate through the treacherous waters, the choppy and stormy weather in Babylon, in fact, upon the whole earth. Okay, that's how you're able to move forward. Yeah, so if you're able to tap into that reservoir of wisdom the Lord Mashiach Yahushua has given to you, hey, it shows that your mind is in the right place, man. Okay, and that's all you can do. Trust in the Lord. All right, trust that the information He has provided to you, is sufficient for you to have a daily life that's attached to that path of righteousness, all right, the path of holiness. So you read from the book of Titus, chapter 1, look at verse 7, and let's see what verse 9, to all do it. Verse 9 says, for a bishop must be blameless. So whenever you deserve to be a part of this ministry, and talking to you men in general, whether you're just a brother listening on the outside, you have to ascribe to yourself the qualities of a man that's entrusted in serving the Lord. For a bishop must be blameless, so you have to rectify your behavior so you could be found blameless. All right, you're preparing your mind for innocence. All right, preparing your mind for righteousness. Okay, as the steward of Yahweh, as the Lord's servant. All right, not self-willed, not doing your own thing. All right, not thinking the way you want to think. all right, but thinking according to the words of the Lord. Not soon angry, all right, so you have to learn how to rule your spirit, okay, learn how to process information before you react. You do not react blindly when you know that people can get upset easily like that, but you have to learn how to exercise wisdom. Wisdom is much more greater than anger, all right, when you apply it properly. Not given to wine, so you're not overindulging in drinking wine, into alcoholic beverages, okay? And not just alcoholic beverages, it's social life, man. Everybody has a social life, but do not overindulge, right? No striker, all right? So let's look up the word striker. I'll pull it up in the blue letter. So I'm going to look at Titus 1 and 7. Okay. All right. So the word for striker in Greek is plektes. Plektes.
Strong's G 4131. Plektes.
Plektes.
Plek.
All right. So it says, what does it say? A primary participle of qualified negation, all right, expresses an absolute denial, okay, not less also as an interrogative implying a negative answer. In other words, you should not nullify the words of the Lord, all right? You should not ignore, all right? You shouldn't turn a blind eye, all right? Just like, when you read, when you watch these people from on Capitol Hill talking about strike this from this subsection, strike that here and there. In other words, they're nullifying it. They're purging it out. You have no reason to purge out what the Lord has set in His Word. Okay, not given to filthy lucre. All right, so you're not doing this to gain a worldly reward. You're not doing this for vanity. Okay, you're not doing this to accept a position with the enemies of the Lord. All right, so you're not serving your own belly because of this ministry. All right, your job is to serve the Lord Yahushai and bring forth fruits meet for repentance. All right, then it says in verse 8, but a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men, sober, just, holy, temperate. All right, so you have to learn how to take care of people, especially in this ministry. You have to learn how to deny yourself. All right, you have to learn how to gravitate. All right, gravitate towards men of the Lord that are on the right path. All right, you shouldn't be overly excited. You should learn how to process, situations, and don't react swiftly. You should learn to judge matters on a patient, on a patient level. All right, just. So you have to learn to apply the words of the Lord, these commandments. You have to learn how to use wisdom to apply those commandments in this captivity that we're in, and you're able to advise others too, to walk uprightly, holy. In other words, you're not entangling yourself with the deeds of 2/3 and the serpent. All right, temperate. All right, so you have to learn how to manage your situations. You're not trying to be holier than thou. You have to learn how to keep yourself balanced. All right, you have to have yourself balanced at all times. You know that you're in captivity. You cannot keep all the commandments. All right, and you know that what the Lord expects of you is important, but you don't want to go overboard. All right, you can't force yourself to be to be overly righteous, all right? You just have to accept the tight spot that you're in, all right? So whatever is given to you according to your strength is what you can apply, okay? Verse 9 says, hold fast the faithful word as he had been taught. Yep. So you have to keep that word, keep the words of this ministry, the proper breakdowns, all right? The proper understanding of the scriptures, you have to hold on to it, okay? That he may be able, by sound doctrine, to both exhort and to convince the gainsayers. Yeah. So that's how you build up yourself to defend the gospel, all right? So when you're defending the gospel, you're able to put our people in check. You're able to let them know exactly what they need to work on, so that way they don't reject themselves because of their faults, all right? They should be able to repent and return to the Lord. So that's just a quick synopsis of this precept, all right? So now you go to the book of Proverbs, all right? Proverbs chapter 16 and look at verse 17. Let's see what it says. It says, the highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. Yeah. So there's only one way to preserve your soul. That is by hearkening unto the words of the Lord. All right. The Lord has already said, what? Be ye holy as he is holy. Okay. And that's so simple. Yeah. So you have to learn how to keep your steps in the path of righteousness. All right. You should learn what it takes to be holy. You should learn what's expected of you at all times in the most difficult situations, all right, that you have to maintain your integrity, all right? Integrity cannot be bought, that can be given to you, all right, by the will of man. The Lord is the one that gives it to you when he sees that you deserve it, all right? And your integrity today cannot be compared to your integrity tomorrow. It's always going to be keeping on going. All right, it's going to keep on growing. All right, your level of growth, it's always going to advance. It's not going to regress. Okay, that's what happens as you be a part of this ministry. You get stronger in your intellect in serving the Lord. All right, and you know how to keep your way according to what the Lord has prescribed. So that's just so simple, all right, to understand. All right, the highway of the up, in other words, the path. All right, what you indulge in. All right, are ways that are holy. You know, that have no appearance of evil before the Lord. All right, you are attached. You have attached yourself to the ministry, whereby you have been called to minister unto the Israelites, all right, to minister unto the saints. Okay, so that's exactly what you should concern yourself with. Now you look at the book of Revelation. What does the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua recommend? Now you look at chapter 3, verse 18. Revelation 3 and 18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire. All right, so that's the words of the Lord. All right, just like you have the words silver tried 7 times. Yeah, you have to buy of him gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed. So your Lord has to cover your nakedness. The Lord has to give you resources. All right, that's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you can use to produce favorable circumstances for your spirit, okay? And that thy shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. So that's all it is, you know. Yeah, so Yahushua is the one that's giving out the gold. Is it physical gold? No. He's talking about the words, all right, the words of life, All right, the words of salvation, the words of integrity, the words of wisdom, the words of knowledge, the words of understanding. In fact, the words of repentance. All right, words of healing. So you have to know exactly why it's given to you. All right. So those principles have been tested against all adversarial conditions. All right, and the results have never failed. All right, the results never wavered. All right, and those that possess the final results grow beyond leaps and bounds. And that's how the words of the Lord is, the deep riches of the Lord, all right, how deep the wealth of knowledge of the Lord's wisdom. You can imagine when you have a portion of that, all right, you can imagine how rich in the spirit you will be. So that's just something to consider. All right, the 19 says, as many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. Okay, so that's the reason why you have to constantly examine yourself so you could stay focused in this ministry. You don't want to turn a blind eye to your faults. Okay, that's what this lesson's all about. Never turning a blind eye to your faults. You have to attend to that wound and apply the balm, apply the healing ointment so you could heal it, so it doesn't become a stumbling block to you in the future. All right, so that's why these words of healing have to be applied to the portions of your body that needs repair. All right, so now you look at the book of Proverbs chapter 28. Let's see what verse 19 says. It says, he that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread. So you have to put in the work to get the results that you need, man. The scripture talks about he that does not work will not be able to eat. But when you put in the work, you're able to eat, all right? Once you study these words of life, the words of wisdom, you're able to benefit from the results that you gain. Just like Yahushua says, he's standing at the door and knock. If any man open it unto him, he and the Father will come on in and sup with him, and that's what it is. And then you grow in the spirit. You become a part of that brotherhood, all right, of this ministry. But he that followeth after vain persons shall have poverty enough. So poverty is basically ignorance, all right, destitute of knowledge, being a reprobate. That's what you call poverty. All right, in this ministry, for you to be rich, you have to have a wealth of understanding. Okay, that's the reason why you have to hold on and accept the word of the Lord of Mashiach Yahushua. Being a hearer and a doer is what keeps you wealthy. It keeps you above that poverty line. Just like they talk about in the world, the poverty line, the poverty level. Hey, you can't afford to be below the poverty level or at the poverty level. You have to always be above. Just like the Lord chose our people to be above, you got to keep yourself above by holding on to these words of life, words of wisdom. These are the true riches that you have to sustain yourself with. Okay, so ignorance is not something you should look at and just turn a blind eye to. You must purge that fleshly desire of ignorance. You must purge it away. Just because you don't understand doesn't mean you should turn away from it. Your job is to understand the scriptures, all right? Just like the Ethiopian eunuch, he wanted to understand, and what did the apostle Philip do? He explained the scriptures to him, and the Lord showed his power, okay, by baptizing the eunuch, and the angel took Philip away. So moments like that are very important, so that way you understand that the Lord is a man of wisdom, and he only dwells with those that desire wisdom. Okay, so Jeremiah chapter 3, actually, it's, you know what? I'm going to go to the next chapter. 4 verse 3. It says, For thus said the Lord, the men of Judah and Jerusalem, break up your fallow ground and sow not among thorns. In other words, you know the Lord out there, you know, our people, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you have to learn to stay busy. All right? Hate not laborious work. All right? The book of Sirach says that. All right? And sow not among thorns. In other words, avoid being among vain persons, man. You know, do not set up roots among thorns. We just read that in the book of Proverbs, chapter 28 and 19. Okay? So, what does it say in verse 4? Circumcise yourselves to the Lord. All right? In other words, set yourself apart for the Lord and take away the foreskins of your heart, ye men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my fury come forth like fire and burn that none can quench it because of the evil of your doings. So that's advice from the Lord, man. The Lord wants you to get yourself together so that you can become profitable for Him. All right? The Lord is looking for profitable servants. Yahweh Shai talked about the parable of the sower. All right? So you have to be that seed that is sown on good ground. All right? You don't want to be the seed that's sown among thorns. So you just got to be careful, man. You know, the words of the Lord need a favorable condition, a favorable environment to grow, so it could generate favorable results. Okay, the desired results. Okay, it makes the job much more easier. Just imagine that, you know, it's less work on a good ground than a ground that is infested with thorns. All right, so that's why it's necessary you keep yourself separate. So the book of Hosea, let's look at chapter 10 and verse 12 is what it says. Sow to yourselves in righteousness. All right, so the good ground is also a ground with righteousness. All right, that's righteousness, righteous mind. All right, sow to yourselves in righteousness, reap in mercy. Okay, that's all it is. You're hoping that your results are favorable, that you get qualified results. All right. Break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Lord. So, in other words, prepare the grounds of your mind. Right, start to purge out the hardness of your heart. You know, break down those rocky attitudes, the hard-headed mindset. You have to break it down. All right, you have to crush it. You have to water it. You know, you have to mix it with manure and all that stuff. Add minerals to it. All right, pull out the weeds and pull out the thorns, all that good stuff. All right, first it is time to seek the Lord. All right, so it is time for you to prepare yourself to meet the Lord. All right, till He come and rain righteousness upon you. Yeah. So you have to learn how to prepare yourself, man, for the resources of the Lord to come towards you. The Lord is not going to bring resources to a thorny ground. All right. The Lord does not expect to see thorns on good soil. All right. So that's the reason why He's always interested in good soil that has potential. All right. And that's all it is, man. Pull out the turns. You know exactly what's required of you to get the best results out of this ministry. So you start to uproot the thorns, man. You separate yourself from the thorns and briar. All right, separate yourself from 2/3, man. Spiritually, psychologically. You might not be able to do that physically, You might live in the same neighborhood and all that, the same building, in the same family, but spiritually, all right, spiritually is where it really counts the most, all right. So that's how you're able to grow in this ministry, and that's all it is, okay. So that's why the Lord constantly desires good ground. The more good ground the Lord is able to acquire, the more He's able to get in His harvest. Okay, so remember that. So, final precept will be from the book of Sirach. All right, this is what the Lord is recommending for us to keep ourselves focused on. All right, so it says, "They that fear the Lord will seek that which is pleasing unto Him." All right, so you're preparing yourself for the Lord. You're preparing yourself to appear favorable before the Lord. All right, so you know the attitudes, the behavior, the your handicap, mindset that's holding you back. You know exactly what you need to let go of. You know exactly what you need to improve on, what you need to work on. You know what you need. All right, so it's a matter of elimination and addition. All right, you eliminate the negatives and you add the positives. Okay, and they that love Him shall be filled with the law. And that's what it is. The Lord expects us to be holy. By you understanding the value of the law, you understand that's just the basics towards holiness. All right, and then you mix it with faith. Oh boy, hey, that's a one kick, a one kick towards the championship. Yeah, so that's the point that I came, then verse 17 says what? They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in His sight, all right? In His sight, all right? Sirach chapter 2, verse 17, they that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in His sight. And that's what the Lord expects from us, humility, all right? Humility and preparation and fear. You got to add all those three together, and hey, salvation is at hand, man. You need to apply those three, so that way you have no regrets. And verse 18 says, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord, and not into the hands of men. For as His majesty is, so is His mercy. And that's what we all need. All right? His mercy. All right, you need mercy. The Lord is always going to show mercy, to the favorable grounds that have potential. All right, it will not be used as a dumping ground. A ground that's filled with turns and all that stuff. What can you use it for? Just turn into a dumping site. All right, that's where you add all the junk and trash. All right, but a good ground that generates revenue for the Lord, that's a prized possession. That's where the Lord will focus more of His productive efforts. So that's all I got, Hakim Abarataza. You've been edified, and your focus on the Lord will continue to grow and strengthen. In the name of the Lord, Amashaki Awashai, Ba'ashimukal Kadash, Shalom.